In today's video, we are going to take a close look at the new generation of racing cabinets. This is a very, let's say, deluxe model with some very cool new features. I'm here with Custom Arcade and we're just going to be seeing what are we getting with this, because this is not your typical machine with some Chinese racing games on it. And yes, indeed, this thing has just a Logitech racing wheel. And that is very unique because you don't see this very often. These, let's say, Chinese custom builds are mostly coming with those, let's say, racing wheels. So one of the things I really love about the Logitech wheel is that this thing has some amazing force feedback. And combined with the right emulator, but also with the right games, we do have an absolutely great experience when it comes to that. At the bottom part, we're finding metal for protecting the cabinet itself, is somebody who's using his shoes. And then we're having the Logitech pedals in combination with the clutch. And already mentioned before that we're having over here the shifter. So we can even have like an overall, let's say, simulation experience. But let's take a close look at the back of the machine. And here we will find all of the components, or in other words, the heart of the machine. You can reach in fairly easy when it comes to the display itself. And we're also going to be finding the PC that is implemented inside of this machine. So what makes this thing actually like the best machine you can get? The reason is simple, because this plays everything. You have all kinds of platforms that I've never seen before on a racing cabinet from China. Oh yeah, this actually comes from China, but the software itself has been completely reconfigured with every single emulator of all the PlayStations, let's say everything, including some PC games. So let's move on to some PlayStation Portable. So yeah, I already mentioned before, so like when it comes to the dead zone of this, oh man, it's absolutely massive, so we should do something about that. We can actually play it. So we use acceleration on the pedals, but can also use it on the steering wheel. There we go. Oh man, it's so different playing this with actually on a racing wheel. You know, that is what happens with all of these emulators. Okay, we can change all kind of song, but nope. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, so when it comes to, let's say, playing some games on N64, it looks absolutely amazing. We don't have the weird stutters, etc. But this is what I mean when it comes to having no force feedback, and we have an absolutely crazy overall dead zone. You can just see it when you're just playing it. And this has to do, I think it comes because you're normally playing with a joystick, and you need to be converting this to a racing wheel. Maybe we do have the option to adjust it a little bit left or right, but the general problem is just we have noticed this a lot when it comes to, let's say, some emulators. Alright, so next up some Sega Dreamcast with some Vigilante. So what's kind of interesting, we do have feedback, and this is exactly what I mean, is that we do have some minor feedback going on with some rumble. So that's kind of cool, that it actually works with the Sega Dreamcast game. I can use the pedals, but using the pedals, it's going to be so much different, because I'm using the machine gun with my pedals. So it's just kind of weird. You're accelerating with the button on the racing wheel and using the machine gun with the pedal. But when it comes to playing games, I think when you're getting into Forza Horizon 5 and you're going to be adding your Steam games to this, yeah, this is absolutely the ultimate experience for playing some racing games. Forza Horizon is one of my favorite games to play. I'm just a Forza guy, but when you actually just playing this, the force feedback is perfectly like configured for this. You can just feel everything on the road, and this is just the way how you want to play it. Alright, so getting into all the kind of emulators, I didn't have an overall great experience, but we're getting into some Teknoparrot. Oh boy, this is going to be absolutely blast playing some Daytona. The force feedback in this wheel is going to be implemented perfectly in this game. Oh man, now you can actually feel how good and how strong the force feedback of this Logitech wheel is. Okay, it's one of those crazy games that can be found on Teknoparrot. Is going to be one of those, let's say, crazy games like dirt racing or something like that. Absolutely crazy, man. This graphical wise, it looks amazing. Force feedback works perfectly. Okay, of course we need to check out some Outrun with Teknoparrot. So what I did notice with this particular game is that we do have different versions like the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation Portable. But when you're looking at this Teknoparrot, I was surprised that we don't have any feedback. However, there is no dead zone and it is a very responsive game. So I don't mind that there was no feedback. Maybe that has to do because the original game also didn't have this. So the best experience is going to be the PC gaming. And the force feedback depends what kind of game you're playing, particularly when it comes to this one. It's kind of cool. We have no feedback whatsoever, but when you're going to be shooting or you're going to be hitting something, then you will feel no feedback. So it's more of a different feedback. Don't know if you can change it out in the menu because it's actually a PC game, so most of the time you can just change it out. The same with the button configuration, it's very easy. And of course we have a keyboard, so we can just go into the menu and change these things out if you have any problems whatsoever. Another game I just wanted to check out is Hydra Thunder, just to see how it actually works. So what I noticed, like not every single game will be compatible with force feedback, and it's particularly when it comes to the PC games. This is a very old game, you can see it on the graphical stuff. I've been playing the Xbox 360 for a long time, but this one is so old school. But what I do notice that there is almost no dead zone, so controlling the vehicle is absolutely a pleasant overall experience.